Hey, how are you?
How are you?
Good. How you doing?
Yeah, right here. Okay. When Debbie comes in, I'll tell her. You're cool. I don't need to. We're not worried about it. I'm just filling speed. Inland Gardner Roberts. Debbie?
No, actually, don't go over the top, just go around it.
Is it okay
Somebody
if I
put that-
sing the
somebody
peony
did that
song
one
for
for
my
you.
brother?
Like,
For
say
his
what?
passing? Can I sing the
I
peony
can
song
take off
for
or
my
just
brother?
sit here.
But I don't
No,
know.
no, if you sit here, I don't have to work. You can sit there. I'm good.
The reason I thought that is because you're getting ready for your
No,
show.
I'm good.
Yeah, but that's what she says for her
Hey,
show, so.
It's okay.
why don't
I'm
you
good.
sit here,
Oh,
Debbie?
No, I'm good. I'll
Why don't
move
you
it.
be on the show? I've been on your show.
I'm okay.
90 seconds.
My purse, I'll just move over here. I'm good.
Oh,
I can get up.
No, you're fine. Stay.
She's getting ready for a 3-hour show. You know, she didn't need to sit there when we need the microphone. We're going.
Oh, you unplug me, I'm sorry. I'll move it off.
God, I'm glad you had that cell phone sign. I would have forgotten.
Oh, turn it off?
Yeah, I would have
See
forgotten.
what's so
Leave
funny?
that there?
Cell phones off,
Yeah.
or vibrate, please, and if they're on vibrate, not on the table.
I do everything opposite. I keep my phone blasted way up.
All the smoke signals off too?
Smoke signals. And you stay off pale Facebook.
Why is that turning off?
Yeah.
Press
The
and
new
hold.
Hey, we went to Chewy's last night.
Where's
First time I've been to Chewy's Mexican, Midtown. It was really good. Sorry.
30 seconds.
We split a Rihanna.
Good morning, everybody.
Did he hand me that poster somewhere?
I'll find it.
Debbie's favorite song.
It is.
I think she took it.
Stand by. She did.
You gave it
She
to
thought
Laura.
you gave it to Laura, she took it thinking it was hers. 3, 2,
All right, listeners, you certainly know what that theme song is. That's right. It is Mustang Matters, heard now nationwide, coast to coast, border to border, and
Res to res.
you better believe it. And that was Joanne Spotted Bear, who always joins us here on Mustang Matters, a Lakota who is from Pine Ridge Reservation. This show, Mustang Matters, was created by and is hosted today by none other than country western singing star Lacey J. Dalton. You better believe it. And we also have on set with us today, we have John Pacino, director, producer, along with the ranch horse manager out at the Wainema Ranch, Kat Ennis. Kat, welcome to the show. Along with another member of the Wainema Ranch out there, we have Emmeline Roberts on set with us. So Emmeline, welcome as well. Now, we always start off Mustang Matters, listeners, by inviting you to join us. We're at the Reno Town Mall. You can join us and get behind the microphone. You can also text us throughout today's show. Let me give you a brand new text number. It's 775-557-5120. You also are welcome to call us throughout Mustang Matters at the following number. It's toll free. It's anywhere in the world. It's 855-790-TALK. Write it down, 855-790-8255. We always start off Mustang Matters with a Lakota prayer, and before we go there, we always have American Indian flute music.
Oh, shucks. Sorry, folks. I think I'm going to sing a peyote song.
That'd be wonderful. Let's do it.
Thank you, Eddie. Listeners, I'd like you to all bear with me at this moment. Yesterday at 10 o'clock this morning, or 10 o'clock in the morning, my brother passed away. And I was having, this is the one I've been going to South Dakota with. So I asked Eddie and Lacey if I can please sing the peyote song, not just to remember my brother, but all of our fallen heroes and all of our animals. So I'm just going to sing that peyote song and kind of keep it simple today. Thank you. Hi-yo-way-yo-way-no, hi-yo-way-yo-way-na-ha-way. Hi-yo-way-yo-way-no, hi-yo-way-yo-way-na-ha-way. Yahweh, Yahweh, no, Yahweh, Yahweh, Yahweh. Yahweh, Yahweh, no, Yahweh, Yahweh, Yahweh. Yahweh, Yahweh, no, Yahweh, Yahweh, Yahweh. My dear brother, Andy Running Cock, I'll never forget you. Yahweh, Yahweh, no, Yahweh, Yahweh, Yahweh. Yahweh, Yahweh, no, Yahweh, Yahweh, Yahweh. Yahweh, Yahweh, no, Yahweh, Yahweh, Yahweh. Our dear Heavenly Father, will you bless and watch over my brother? Yahweh, Yahweh, na, Yahweh, Yahweh, Yahweh. Yahweh, Yahweh, na, Yahweh, Yahweh, Yahweh. Our Lord Heavenly Father, will you bless and watch over all the animals of the world? Yahweh, Yahweh, Yahweh. Yahweh, 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 Yahweh. Yahweh, 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 Yahweh. Our dear Lord Heavenly Father, will you bless and watch over our people? Yahweh, 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 Yahweh. Yahweh, 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 Yahweh.
All right, thank you very much. That was Joanne Spotted Bear, a tribute to her brother who passed away yesterday. This is Mustang Matters. I want you to join us. We're at the Reno Town Mall. You can actually come get behind the microphone. You can text us throughout today's show. Today, you can text us at 775-557-5120, or do like Carissa has done right now. Carissa is on the phone with us, and she called 855-790-8255. And now let's go to the creator of Mustang Matters and the host of today's show, Lacey J. Dalton.
Good morning, Eddie. How you doing?
You know what? I'm doing great. I absolutely love it, and I've got to share with you. Joanne, thank you very much for that tribute song to your brother, and you brought some tears to a lot of people here on set as well as the audience at the Reno Town Mall.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. Thank you for your prayer this morning, and we reach out with our sympathy to you. We know you guys were close, and this is an immense loss for you, and thank you for being on the show today in spite of that, Joanne. We are always pleased to have Joanne Spotted Bear here, and we are, Joanne, we have a very special guest. Good morning, other guests here this morning. It's great to see you all.
Thank you.
Evelyn and Kat and John are all here, and if Carissa is on the phone, we would love to speak with her right now. Carissa, are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, hi, Carissa. This is Lacey Dalton and the gang here at Mustang Matters, and we are thrilled that you're calling in this morning. We understand that you are part of the extreme, at least at this point, you are both part of the Extreme Rescue Mustang Extreme Mustang Makeover and the Extreme Rescue Mustang Makeover, and we are so proud to have you on the show this morning. Carissa, can you tell us, and am I pronouncing that correctly? Is it Carissa or Caressa?
It's Carissa.
Carissa, okay, now we know for sure. And Carissa, we always like to start out here on Mustang Matters by asking you to tell us a little bit about yourself. Where were you born, and how did you get involved with horses and that sort of thing? Could you give us a little background so we know who we're talking to?
Yeah, I was born in Southern California, and I've been riding horses since I was 2, and my mom had me competing in gymkhanas and senior rodeos from the time I was 3. And we moved to northern Nevada when I was about 6, and I started colts when I was 10 years old because my mom got hurt, and we had a bunch of colts to train, so she threw me up on there, and I've just loved it ever since. And that's what I've been doing. I went to Feather River College and got a degree in horse training skills and ranch skills and rodeo skills. and I'm using that now to promote my own business training courses.
You know, Carissa, I've got to jump in right now because we're all smiling right here because also on set, a regular co-host and member of the Wainema Ranch crew out there is none other than someone you know. Kat Ennis wants to say hi to you right now.
Hey Risa, how you doing?
Good, hi Kat.
Small world, isn't it, Carissa? Small world.
It really is.
Yeah, it sure is. But, you know, we're so proud of you and what you're doing with the Mustang Extreme Makeover. And, you know, Lacey, this, by the way, we got to pay tribute where tribute's due. Carissa was actually lined up to give us a call here today on Mustang Matters by none other and certainly no stranger to Mustang Matters, and that's Sharon DiCarlo of Horse Tales.
Our very, very good friend, and Sharon, if you're listening, and you probably are, we got a huge thank you. I know this was kind of last minute for Carissa, and we sure appreciate having Carissa on, and we hope you'll call in too, Sharon. I know you have some news from the Horse Tales publication that you would like to share with us, some events that are happening and what's going on in the horse world. And Carissa, you are now involved, correct me if I'm wrong, you're involved in both the Extreme Mustang Makeover, which is the big national program, and also our new event, which Hidden Valley and Wainema Ranch
And you?
Let Them Run, and many of the rest of us, LRTC, are all involved in putting on the Extreme Rescue Mustang Makeover on June 22nd over in California. And it is my understanding that you have a couple of horses that you're getting ready for that event. Is that so?
Yes, that's right. I have 2 competition Mustangs right now, and they're the first competition Mustang I've ever done. I'm really excited about it.
You know, I'm wondering if they happen to be the ones that we at Let 'Em Run have. Is one of them a little black horse?
No, I have a little bay roan, and then I have a bigger gated looking big LJ.
Oh, good. And Kat, are you working on a horse right now for Extreme Rescue?
No, I'm not, because I unfortunately know these horses too well, so I wasn't allowed to play with the horses.
Yeah, she's not allowed this year because, like she said, she knows the horses too well. But, you know, Carissa, one of the things that I find so intriguing is how people like yourself, and that's how, by the way, you may or may not know, that's how Lacey J. Dalton and my wife, Shari, actually met Kat, was in Taylorsville.
That's right. Last year at the closing event of the Extreme Rescue Mustang Makeover. Now these horses are horses that have had a really hard start.
Right.
They've been either pulled off the range and not worked with, or they have been abused horses that came to Extreme Rescue Mustang Makeover. And a lot of the graduates like you, Carissa, from Feather River College, were involved in some advanced 4-H students. And the very first Extreme Rescue Mustang Makeover took place. It was a Horse Plus rescue project, and we went over there to see how it looked. How did these horses look? How did they act? And Carissa, I think you would have been thrilled with what some of your classmates and some of the local folks over there did with these horses. They were magnificent. Sharon DiCarlo was over there with us. I asked her to please come and evaluate the whole project and let us know what her professional, because Sharon has just done horse shows and horsemanship and horses for years and years and years and years, and we value her opinion very much, and she was very much impressed with it, and that's why we got involved with the Extreme Rescue Mustang Makeover this year. And Carissa, tell me what's involved. Tell me, I know that someone has to come out to your house and evaluate you as a trainer before a horse ever even comes to you. What kinds of things do they have to find out about you in order for you or anyone listening who might be interested in being a trainer for one of our events? And it looks to me like we may be even having another one this fall.
Right.
I just got that call this morning that could we please try to put one together for this fall. So could you tell us what's involved, Carissa, when somebody comes to evaluate you as a trainer? What do you need to be qualified?
Well, when they came out here, they wanted to check out my facilities and make sure I had a safe place to keep the Mustang that they wouldn't be able to jump out of, because that's a problem with Mustangs. They're pretty crafty about escaping. And then they wanted to make sure that I valued the natural horsemanship training methods and that everything that I do with horses is least resistance, and it's all about creating horses that are more easily adoptable.
In other words, you will be gentling a horse rather than breaking.
Correct.
And they make sure that that's the way, that those methods that you use are those least, what we call least resistance methods.
Right.
Oh, that's great, Carissa. And what else, what other questions did they ask you?
They wanted to know my training experience, how long I'd been doing this, and if I'd ever dealt with an untouched wild horse before. Which I had. I had dealt with untouched horses, just not Mustangs.
I see.
And it turns out it's a whole different ballgame between a domestic horse born out in the pasture that hasn't been touched and a wild horse born out on the range.
Well, can you tell us and Kat too, I'll go to Kat next, but can you tell us the difference? What's the difference between these horses and horses that have been raised domestically?
Well, the wild horses, everything for them is about survival. So to be able to learn quickly is a matter of survival, and they pick things up very quickly. Whereas the domesticated horses, it'll take them a few tries to figure things out because it's not as important to them.
In other words, they don't start out just thinking everything is just about staying alive. Staying alive. Staying alive. Kat, do you agree? Is that your experience also with the difference between? I know you've trained both wild and domestic horses, and do you also agree with Teresa that that's?
Yeah, definitely. Domestic horses are bred to have less fear because the more fear the horse has, natural fear of just predator prey. Because we are a predator, they're a prey. And so you eventually start selectively breeding the horses that are just naturally friendlier, naturally have less fear of humans and don't see humans as threats. So yeah, definitely domestic horses are a lot easier, even if they haven't been touched for years. They're still easier than Mustangs.
Kat, I got a question for you.
This is tell her who you are.
Kat, I'm Joanne Spotted Bear. My Lakota name is Matogleshka. But I have a question for you that might be a little bit silly, but I don't think so. I have a rocking horse at home that's unbroken. Can you help me?
We got our own Lakota stand-up comedian here on set with us.
The only blonde Lakota.
That's it. Carissa, I do have, and by the way, I learn something every time I have the honor of sitting in with Lacey J. Dalton and the rest of her crew here. I'm at the Wainema Ranch, but I've said this many times. My wife runs the ranch, I run my mouth here on the radio, and the name of my horse is Quad, along with Emmeline's. Hers is four-wheel drive pickup, right, Emmeline?
Yes, it is.
That's
You're
right.
right about that.
Yeah, so I learn something every time I go out there and watch, Shari Floyd. I watch Bruce and Cindy Hartzell, the ranch managers. I watch Kat Innes when she works with these horses. It amazes me, but I have to say something. I want your take on what was told to me by someone who will be joining us this summer from the island of Crete, someone that Lacey J. Dalton calls the Greasy Cowboy because he's from Greece right now, and that's Franklin Levison told me. He said, here's the mistake that you're making, Eddie. What you're making is you're trying to train the horse. In actuality, the horse is going to be the one who trains you. Carissa, your take on that comment?
That is such a true statement. Every single horse is different, and I'm always learning new things. And that's my favorite part about working with these Mustangs, is they're always teaching me a new method and something new every single time, and I love it. So that's totally true. You're not really training horses, they're teaching you.
Well, Carissa, I understand. A little bird told me that you are a very young person. Well, compared to me and Eddie, anyway.
Just me, Lacey, just me.
And also that I was told that you have about 21 horses that you're training right now. You must be very, very good, because most of the horse trainers I know are complaining that they have no work. About how old are you? Are you in your 20s, Carissa? Is that correct?
Yes, I'm 22.
22 years old. Wow, a cat too.
Yeah, there you go.
We got a lot of great young horse people coming up in this world. And Carissa, do you know about our project at Wainema Ranch? Are you familiar with what we're doing out there?
I think Cass talked to me a little bit about how you're trying to get Mustangs adopted out. Is that right?
That's correct.
Tell us what's Kat, tell Carissa a little bit more about the project, what's going on out there, and what you're expecting to do with your programs this summer. Carissa may have the horses that when you get ready to have your riding string, she may have some horses that will be
Amen.
ready for that.
We like that.
Well, basically we have Cindy Hartzell's doing a bunch of her equine facilitated learning clinics.
That
And-
for people or horses?
Well,
Both.
people with horses.
Actually, it's the people who learn once again.
Yeah.
You know? I've attended, Emily, and you've attended as well, and we all learned something from that. And Carissa, you know, like Kat said, we'd love you to come visit sometime and be a part of us and spend a weekend, a week, or as what I'd like to see, the rest of your life working out there. So that I don't have to shovel as much.
All 21 of her horses would have to come with her, right,
That's-
Carissa?
That's right.
Hey, by the way, Lacey, this is a perfect segue with Carissa on set and Kat here. They're both 22 years of age, okay? But, you know, I've got a Jersey boy sitting on the panel with us right now, John Pacino, because, you know, you talked about the future. Now, there's someone who probably, like me, you know, wasn't involved with horses. I didn't even see a horse until I went to college. I'm from a fishing village in Florida. Well, John Pacino, born and raised in New Jersey, and now he has absolutely turned his life around to where all he cares about now is horses. All he cares about is a horse that he just got through adopting out there at the Wainema Ranch, Wildfire.
Right, Wildfire, right. My new partner in life.
Tell us about what.
Well, he's a personality, A-type like myself, so there's a problem, challenge. But I'm from Jersey, so I think I can take care of that. He's a cross between a Mustang and a giraffe. He's about 15 and a half hands high, maybe, Kat?
I'd say 15-1.
15-1.
15-1-1.
Far too big a horse for me. I like him about a foot shorter.
And he's big and strong and healthy.
Yeah,
He's an older horse, about 20 years old, but he doesn't know it yet.
that's right.
He still has a driver's license that says he's 16, I think, or 17. He's spunky, and I'm looking forward to bringing him down to my place in Pleasant Valley to get a one-on-one with him, and I think Kat's coming down to assist me in my education with him.
That is great. Carissa, are you still with us?
Yes, I am.
Do you, Carissa, in your training facility, and before we get too far down the line, I want to make sure that people know how to get a hold of you if they have a horse they need to have trained. Can you give us your information, and do you do outside projects, or am I just overstepping everything here?
Oh no, everything that I have right now at the barn is outside. I have 10 horses in training here, and then my personal 4 horses are in pasture at home. And my business is working under the name Kismet Performance Horses, and we're on Facebook, and that's also my email, kismetperformancehorses@gmail.com.
Can you spell Kismet?
Kismet.
It's Kismet that you're here with us today. And is there a phone number? Or do you prefer to be, are you, you guys, you 22-year-old guys, you don't even use the phone anymore. Are you only on Facebook, or is there a local telephone number where local folks can get in touch with you? Old people like me who don't use the computer.
Yes, my cell phone is 775-980-9011. Most of the time I'm pretty hard to get a hold of since I'm out riding, but I am getting better about returning phone calls.
I'm very glad to hear that. There is hope for the younger generation.
Yes, there is. You know, they're not like, I like what Lacey calls both her and me, techno peasants. We're techno peasants when it comes to technology.
I can work that phone. I can do anything with it. Carissa, would you give us your information one more time in case we have folks out there, or in case some of our folks like John get in trouble and Kat's busy and they need to get in touch with you?
Yes, of course. It's Kismet Performance Horses @gmail.com and 775-980-9011.
Look at her, look at her. And Kat, how do we get a hold of Wainema Ranch? If we want to have a horse trained out at the Wainema Ranch and we want Kat to train it, how do we get a hold of Kat?
I'll give you my phone number so that way there people like you can call me.
Thank you.
Yeah. Don't worry, we'll get her at the end of the show. Yeah. Thank you, we think. Kat, give her that number.
707-639-7659.
And do it one more time, just for the people out there like me who are fumbling for a pencil. And boy, that's a beautiful place to keep us out there at Waimea. I'll
Thank
tell you
you.
that. 25 minutes from downtown Reno, and very, very, very close.
Again, it's 707-639-7659.
Joanne?
Kat, I have another question for you.
Oh,
How
here
about
we-
those of us who send smoke signals, you know?
I
I
haven't
knew
been
we'd get
training
another
yet.
Lakota joke.
She's on a roll
She's
today.
on a roll today. All right, now, I'll tell you one thing, and thank you for saying that. Listeners, this is a little bit different today on Mustang Matters. There are three advocacy groups I really want to highlight today, and let me tell you what they are, okay? They are the Hidden Valley Wild Horse Protection Fund, and I'm going to have Kelly come up and actually get behind the microphone so that Kelly, a member of Hidden Valley Wild Horse Protection Fund, can actually tell people how to get involved with that. Kat Emmeline Roberts is here right now with us, and that we represent the Wainema Ranch. Listeners, you can go to WaiNemaRanch.com. That's WYNEMA Ranch.com for more information about that particular advocacy group, as well as the Let 'em Run Foundation. That is LetEmRun.com. Let me spell that for you. That's Lacey J. Dalton's. And by the way, she's the one who really kicked it off for us at the Wainema Ranch. That's Lacey J. Dalton's LetEmRun.com. LetEmRun.com. Lacey, I also want to segue to this. There's so many events coming up this year. If people want to get a hold of you besides LetEmRun.com, they can also simply go to LaceyJDalton.com.
That's right, it will refer you to Let 'em Run, and it will give you a bunch of contact numbers that you'll be in touch with you with. And we are so, I tell you, we're getting I'm doing a lot of fundraisers all around the country for a lot of wonderful things, and also a lot of I'm playing a lot of nice small theaters
Aren't they
and things like
wonderful?
that. It really is.
Yeah.
And we're looking forward, Carissa, I'm so excited about this Extreme Rescue Mustang Makeover event. It's just in its tiny, tiny infancy. And when I was talking with Shannon Wendell this morning, she said she'd like to do one in the fall here this year.
That'd be wonderful.
Which means we really need to get on the bandwagon, and we need to find trainers. So Carissa, if you have other friends that may not be aware of the Extreme Rescue Mustang Makeover and the nice prizes, I believe the smallest, the prize is $5,000, but there are smaller prizes that are going to be offered at the event this year. Is it the prize money that turns you on, Carissa, or is that a big deal to you, or is it just the recognition for the great work that you're doing with these horses you're working with? Or is it both? Or all
Kind
three?
of. I got into it for the challenge and the learning experience, because everything that I've been doing this year is just trying to get more experience for myself so that I can be more professional and be able to handle any situation. And just the two competition Mustangs I have right now have already taught me so much. It's insane. I thought I knew a lot before, but I'm not even close.
But you know what, Carissa Perez, as we run out of time on this particular Mustang Matters, on behalf of all of us here, Lacey J. Dalton, the rest of the entire crew, we want you personally to kiss Sharon DiCarlo for inviting you to join us today. Okay, never mind, I'll do it myself. Okay, that's Sharon DiCarlo, listeners, Horse Tales. And by the way, that's a publication that belongs on every coffee table, on every ranch and farm in Nevada, California, and every state across this nation. Now, we have just enough time, so Kelly, if you would, get on that microphone, tell listeners how they can get involved with Hidden Valley.
Well, Hidden Valley Wild Horse Protection Fund is www.hiddenvalleyhorses.com. That's a local advocacy group here in Reno that helps with the rescuing these horses as they're picked up. And we have a lot of them at the Wainema Ranch.
All right, thank you for that, Kelly. Now, listeners, let me tell you, for those of you who've been listening on Fox News Radio, that wraps up this particular show for Mustang Matters. And I'll tell you what, listeners, remember, come join us. For those of you listening on other radio stations, nationwide. You keep your seat, because as soon as you hear from these wonderful sponsors, we will be right back.
Is Carissa still?
Yes.
Yeah.
Carissa,
Hi.
hi. We have a whole nother segment
Yeah,
of
whole
our
nother
show,
show.
and I want to invite you, I don't know what your time is like, I know it was a last minute thing this morning, but if you'd like to talk about your program a little more in just a few minutes when we go to our next segment, please just stay on the line and we'd be happy to have you anytime. If you have news, please just like to share.
It was really yesterday. I sent it to my friend Monday, it was really yesterday. So I'm just gonna play it off today and say, you know, we're
All right,
celebrating.
that's awesome.
We're
Yeah,
gonna
please stay on
celebrate
the
today.
line.
Oh, good.
And then I'm
Well, we're glad to have
put it
you
on
today.
Chit Chat,
We'll have
and
you
then I'm
back,
gonna say,
whenever you want.
we're celebrating today with
Thank you.
wine
I
from,
appreciate it.
and then
And
I'll
we
put
so
the
appreciate you being on our show.
March 5th.
yes, March 5th,
I'll bring
Mother's
that,
Day.
we'll let Evelyn bring up March 5th, okay? We'll let her bring up March 5th.
Here we go. Stand by.
All right, get ready, Joanne.
Another one up in 10 seconds.
Music, Joanne, music.
Okay,
Here we go.
all right, gotcha.
Eddie first, then you, right?
Right.
Here we go. 3, 2.
All right, listeners, here we are. It's another episode of Mustang Matters. That's what that theme song means. Now, remember, this show was created by and is hosted by none other than country western singer, star Lacey J. Dalton. On set today, we have Kat Ennis from Wynema Ranch, along with Emily Roberts. She's here with Wynema Ranch, also representing the Hidden Valley Wildhorse Protection Fund. We have Kelly Hyatt, who's always at the Wynema Ranch, right, Kelly?
Yes, I am.
You better believe
That's
it.
my, I love the Winding Ranch.
All right, well, you know what, that's what we love to hear. Listeners, let me tell you, 3 ways to get involved with Mustang Matters today, and we're going to tell you about some very special upcoming events. Lacey J. Dalton has a special guest on today's show. She's also going to interview, that's Carissa, who's a friend of Kat Ennis's as well, from the Wynema Ranch. But we always kick off the show after you join us. We're at the Reno Town Mall. After you text us, that text number is 775-557-5120. Again, 775-557-5120. Or you can call us from anywhere in the world now. That's right, anywhere in the world. That number's 855-790-TALK. Write it down, please, 855-790-8255. We always kick off Mustang Matters with Joanne Spotted Bear, co-host of Lacey J. Dalton's, as she plays American Indian flute and then gives a short prayer in Lakota.
Thank you very much, Eddie. Try this again, and
All right.
here we go. Atewa kanta katkashla, wopla oshimara omakiaya. Dagmishni neswashni ashchi daku hecho shteki omakiaya. Creator, mighty God, ask you to bless this day. Yesterday morning at 10, you took my brother home, and I ask you to bless, watch, guide, and protect him. Bless over all of our animals, bless over our people, wherever that they are right now, those who are on the other side. Make it a good place to call home for all of our belongings, our water that's being contaminated, our land that's being destroyed, our animals that are being slaughtered, and our people that are dying daily. Ask you to please humbly have pity on each and every one of us, from Montana to Texas, California to New York, and all the way around the world. Atewa kanta Tungashla, ask you to bless over Eddie and his son, that he's healing in a good way. Bless over Lacey and her animals too. Bless over our veterans that are fighting in the world wars and having a hard time at this day. Atewa kanta Tungashla Oshimano Omakiayochi, Lemiecha Mutomina, Akedagishni Neswashni Ashchi, Niewaka, Ohechitalo. Amen.
Amen. All right, listeners, that was Joanne Spotted Bear. Now remember, we want you to join us. We're at the Reno Town Mall. We also want you to text us. That text number is 775-557-5120. And remember, you're always welcome to call us. That toll-free number from anywhere in the world is 855-790.